What's the priority? That's the question that I am asking. What is the priority ahead of our game versus Bayern Munich tomorrow, people? Because we've got Chelsea on the weekend. And after battering Tottenham on Sunday, a lot of the priority is, or a lot of the questions we're asking, do we go strong versus Bayern Munich tomorrow? Or do we have a few changes in the team to rest for Chelsea on the weekend? Because the narrative is that the more important game out of the next two coming up is Chelsea on the weekend in the Premier League, fighting for that Premier League. And I want to ask a question to you. How many changes do we make to the team tomorrow? Should we make so many changes and really stake a claim? Try and see if we are on the same level as Bayern with our strongest team possible at the moment? Or do we rest players because of the period that is coming up? We've got a very, very busy Christmas period coming up, and we're going to talk about that in this video, people. So before we get into all of that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Arsenal TV. Get those likes up nice and early. Make sure you subscribe to Arsenal TV. I'm about 13 subscribers away from 700. Can we get there in the next few days? I believe we can, people, and I would love that a lot if you could do that for me. But first up, Arteta's press conference today. I got my phone right here. I just want to give this information direct to you. Now, Arteta did say in his press conference that tomorrow would be a great test for us. Why? Arsenal, Bayern Munich are one of the top teams in Europe right now. Bayern Munich haven't actually lost a game. Our records in the Champions League are practically both identical, 1-4, 1-4 each. Arsenal still haven't conceded no goals in the Champions League as well. So it's a battle of the giants between the two teams in Europe. And when the biggest games come around, you do want to test yourselves. You do really want to test yourselves. And I feel like if we started the team that we started against Tottenham, against Bayern Munich, we'd really give ourselves a good shot. And I feel like we could absolutely go toe-to-toe with Bayern, even now, in my opinion. That's the belief the squad has given me. But as I said, we have a busy Christmas period coming up. And obviously, we still have some players still coming back from injury. Arteta spoke on the likes of Gyökeres and Havertz, who are still close to returning. It was great to see Martin Odegaard back in training today as well. So do we go as full strength as possible, or do we actually really try and test the squad? And I want to put this starting 11 on the screen for you right now. This is one of the starting 11s that I wanted to see tomorrow. And I know Bayern isn't Brighton, because the only time we've actually completely changed the whole back four was in the Carabao Cup when we beat Brighton 2-0. And we saw a back four of Lewis Kelly, Hincapié, Mosquera, and White. I would love it if we could have a similar test against Bayern Munich tomorrow. I'm going to read you out this starting 11 right now. So we've got Raya in goal, right? With White, Mosquera, Hincapié, and Lewis Kelly as the back four. White, I need to give White some minutes. We know the work that Timber is doing on that right-hand side now. He's impossible to dislodge at the moment. But players that need minutes ahead of this busy Christmas period, like with the likes of Ben White, I know it'll be a tough test tomorrow against Bayern Munich. What Elise say? No, there's no Diaz because he's suspended as well. Whoever Ben White comes up against is going to be a tough test. It could be Gnabry that he could be facing tomorrow. Mosquera coming in, I'm not too mad about ahead of Saliba. Now the question is Arteta going to change both his centre backs? Obviously, Gabriel is injured as well, and Saliba is now the closest to being a leader at the back, like Gabriel, out of the two. But I would happily put Mosquera in there. Hincapié back in for Gabriel, and Lewis Kelly for Calafiori. I'm saying we can rotate the whole defence out and still have a top defence that can go up against Bayern Munich's attack, in my opinion. Then the midfield that I would love to see, I would keep Zubimendi in there, keep the Marshall in there, keep him in there, keep him ticking over. And in front of him, I will keep Eze in the team. You can't take Eze out of the team. Scoring a hat-trick on the weekend, you just cannot take him out of the team. So you keep him in the team. And with the fact that Odegaard is back in training, I would actually start him as well in the midfield. I would like to see a little more fluidity in there, a little more creativity in there. The numbers I'm seeing from Zubimendi in terms of winning headers and everything else, I feel like it will be an even bigger test for him to see if he can really dominate the midfield from that sixth position like he does in games for Arsenal, especially against Tottenham as well. He absolutely dominated the midfield. And then on the right-hand side, with Noni Madueke coming back, getting some minutes on the weekend against Tottenham, I would start him on the right-hand side, give Saka a rest. I would also start Martinelli on the left-hand side, give Trossard a rest. Trossard, and well, we know Saka is the best. We know Saka is the best. But Trossard is becoming very indispensable to this team right now, and I don't even want to get injured. And I want players like Martinelli and Noni Madueke to get minutes ahead of the busy Christmas period coming up, because they're going to need to get up to speed as quickly and as safely as possible. And of course, if anything is going wrong, you've got the likes of Saka and Trossard that you can bring on off the bench. But these are talented players that I'm thinking about. Now, this lineup I made before it was announced that Arteta saying that Gyökeres was still close, and I did put Gyökeres up front, but if he's not going to be here for this game, you can put Marino up there. Now, is that too many changes in that team to go up against Bayern Munich? Am I disrespecting Bayern Munich? Am I not showing as much respect as I would? I say that because we have the most informed striker coming up to us, to the Emirates tomorrow. And we know what Harry Kane can do against us. We know what he can do against us. He spoke in his press conference today talking about how he does score against Arsenal a lot. We know this. He was a menace. I hated him when he was at Tottenham. I'm sure a lot of us did hate Harry Kane when he was at Tottenham. I know I did. And the reason why I hated him, because he's just a fantastic footballer. That's it. If I don't like you as a footballer, it means you're brilliant, unfortunately. And Harry Kane is a brilliant footballer. And we've seen his goal record since the start of the season, just scoring week in, week out, set to break some serious records by the end of this calendar year. So he was speaking ahead of his press conference today, and he said, although he scores a lot of goals against Arsenal, he doesn't win a lot of games. No matter how good Tottenham were when Harry Kane and Son and the likes of them were there with Pochettino and everything else, they still didn't win a lot of games. Harry Kane is right to say that. But Bayern Munich have had our number. Different team, everything else. So when they turn up to the Emirates tomorrow, it's going to be a big, big test. But the reason why I'm making so many changes to the squad is, as I said, we have a busy Christmas period coming up. We're about to play six games in 18 days. 6 games in 18 days, and it goes like this. Obviously, Bayern Munich tomorrow. Then we face Chelsea on the Sunday on the 30th. Then on the 3rd of December, we face Brighton at home. On the 6th of December, we go to Aston Villa. We play them away. Then on the 10th, we go to Club Brugge away. And then we have Wolves at home on the 13th. A very congested period. And I don't want to see any more injuries come up from overuse. One of the big things that I criticized Arteta for last season and in seasons gone by is your management of the team, not utilizing the squad. Now, a lot of the times when we went into Champions League games last season, league games as well, there were a lot of youngsters on the bench, the likes of Cabio, Harry Mananous, Wanyeri at the time. These players that weren't getting a look into the team, but that's not the same now, because we've done our job in the summer to get the likes of Nkapie, Madueke, Zubimendi, Gyökeres, all them people there into the squad. So we can test the squad. And I really want us to test the squad. And to be fair, Arteta has actually rotated the team, the defense, quite a bit in the Champions League. The only defender to start every single Champions League game up until this point was Gabriel. Gabriel was the only defender to start every Champions League game up until this point. The likes of White has come in against Olympiacos. Skelly came in against Olympiacos. We know Skelly came in against Atletico Madrid as well. So Mosquera came in against Athletic Club. That's when Saliba had his knock versus Liverpool the week before. Obviously, the only time he's changed the defense completely versus Brighton, but Brighton aren't Bayern as well. And obviously Fulham, just before this was his team. This was the team when they faced Fulham, right? When we faced Fulham, we beat them 1-0. And then we had Atletico Madrid the next day. And you're going to see there aren't many changes. It was Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori with Eze, Zubimendi, Rice in the midfield, Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard as your front three. And then against Atletico Madrid a few days later, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Skelly, substitution for Calafiori, Eze, Zubimendi, Rice was the same midfield, Saka, Gyökeres and Martinelli. The only changes he made from that team to face Fulham that time to Atletico Madrid was Skelly and Martinelli. But I feel like you have the opportunity to make the changes now, because I want us to test the squad. We boast a lot about this squad. So let's see how good this squad is. How good is our team? And put it up against the best team in Europe. Because if the narrative is that because we're in this new Champions League phase and how it goes and everything else, you draw or lose against Bayern, you can still make up the time down the line. Obviously, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You want to win every single game. You want to look as imperious as possible at the end of the day. But with the fact that we destroyed Tottenham on the weekend and now we look expectant to win the Premier League, even though I'm now expecting us to win the Premier League, we still got to get there. So the question is, do you keep players as fit as possible for Chelsea, trust your squad to see if we can get through against Bayern? Or do you rest as many players as you need to for Bayern and then go all out versus Chelsea. That's the main thing. What is the priority, people? Is your priority tomorrow night, making sure we win tomorrow night, going up against the other best team in Europe right now and seeing if we can literally beat them toe to toe, or rest them? We probably see them again down the line in the Champions League phase and put all your eggs in Chelsea basket. Let me know in the comment section down below, people. I'm also going to do a predicted 11 at some point soon, so keep your eyes on for that. That'll probably be either out tonight or tomorrow morning. People, thank you for being here on Arsenal TV. If you haven't already, please make sure you like the video. If you can hype the video, that is great as well. And also subscribe to Arsenal TV. I am about 13 subscribers away from 700. So let's see if we can reach that, people. And we've got a big game. Big. It's a big game tomorrow. It is a big game. I'm looking forward to it to see if we can continue our form. The energy in the Emirates is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how we start and what the atmosphere is going to be like, because we need to get our own back against Bayern. We have to get our own back against Bayern. We owe them something for knocking us out of the quarterfinals, for the 5-1s, 10-2s of Nagorets destroying us. We owe them something. So let's see if we can repay the favor. Love and guidance, people. And before I go, I'm also going to leave you with a nice video at the end that you will also enjoy. So make sure you subscribe to Arsenal TV and we'll speak soon. Peace. Unlucky if your name's Expressions. Ale, ale. Tottenham fans are weak, you're full of depression. Ale, ale, ale. Thomas Frank, you should have been more modest. Ale, ale. Cause of that #1 on top of his hit list. Ale, ale. Last thing, huh? Don't blame the Tifo. Oh, ale, ale. Is it a colour thing? Don't blame the Tifo. Oh, ale, ale. Is it a colour thing? Hold that. Hold that. Know your place, you terrible club. Peace. And subscribe to Arsenal TV.